And the other thing that really strikes me is about, um, how being highly sensitive as a child is really constricted in the education system here in the
Yeah.
States. I mean, even in adulthood, like right now, I'm taking this online course with this international coaching body, and there's over 200 folks in this class,
Hmm.
and every week I'd say I can count on the single hand the people who raise their hand to talk
Oh, wow.
every single class. And they're, the first people to put up their hand, the first people to
Hmm.
get mic time. And I'm like, oh, of course, they're the extroverts. They're the
Yeah.
ones who are chomping at the bit to communicate. And imagine the voices that we don't get to hear from
Hmm.
not creating an education system that create space for all learning styles, for all processing systems, that perhaps gives the introverts as much as the extroverts time
Yeah.
to consider and reflect on what they want to share, and
Hmm.
then invite responses in a more thoughtful approach.
I think for a lot of highly sensitive boys, it's like you go to school, you see kids who are wired differently than you. The teachers oftentimes seem to appreciate all the qualities you don't seem to have in terms of the extroversion and maybe being super athletic or super outgoing. And so there is kind of this sense of I don't belong, kind of an alien sense, or feeling estranged, or feeling like I need to use my empathy to figure out how to blend in and be acceptable and be who everyone wants me to be, which can again create all sorts of people pleasing tendencies and perfectionism. And so there are just a lot of traps that highly sensitive boys and highly sensitive people in general fall into growing up, that we almost have to kind of figure out later on, where did these start? Where did they come from? And how do I actually figure out who I am, identify my authentic self and start to live in alignment with that person again. And so it can be a long journey for us, but it's definitely possible, I guess, is the the highlight there. I don't want to end people with this note of like you're weird and strange and you're broken. It's not that at all. It's that sense of when you start to come home to yourself, when you start to realize you're highly sensitive and what that means, and embrace those innate gifts that you have, the world just lights back up again. There's so much joy to be found in that self acceptance and in that journey. But if I want people to know that if they felt like their childhood was a dark time, or they felt like they turned off that part of their heart that is sensitive along the way, that there is a way to revive that and to bring that back and to really embrace and become the force of nature that we were all created to be.